And we are fucking live. Friended and Aydin Paladin. I thought Aydin Paladin was a boy, but you're not a boy. You're a girl.
That's what you think.
I sincerely apologise for misgendering you. I don't know what came over me, but nice to have you both.
Thank you.
Hey, what's up?
Oh, you know what's up. You had your fucking computer read this article to you. As I said, I'm thinking people will appreciate this article. I'll get on a stream and I'll do this article, right? And I thought Friended has a nice silky voice. I'll get Friended on and he can help me read the motherfucker. And then he fucking messages me and goes, "I'm a shit reader. I'm a shit reader. Get someone else." So you're dead weight.
I did get you someone else though. And Aydin is a good reader, and she's a social psychologist. So how can you go wrong? Yeah,
that's a good point. And your input will be valuable too. I do appreciate your input.
Why, thank you so much.
So we're going to go through. I'll just screen share. I actually did go over this about 6 months ago when it first came out. With Dr. Random McCam on my second channel.
Oh, I gotcha.
But it's such a fucking corker. I thought it deserves another crack. So I will screen share. Can you guys see that?
I can.
Cool. There we go.
So what is the backstory on this? I never read this before. You sent it to me. I had my computer read it, read it to me. Yes. You do that in videos. I've seen you have the computer.
I've
voice
done it once or
before.
twice. I've done it once or twice.
Yeah. So don't give me a hard time.
No, I tried it. I suppose you're doing it privately. That's fair enough.
Yeah, exactly.
You get backlash if you do it on videos. People think it's lazy.
Yes.
So the backstory, the way I came across it was I think it came out just after the Berkeley hoo-ha with Milo Yiannopoulos, where they burnt all the shit down in the yard there. And yeah, I found it fascinating. So let's just get stuck into it. Interrupt me whenever you want. We'll take turns reading. You are going to read, friend, and I'm going to make you fucking read. We're going to take this in shifts. Right?
This is not a dialogue, not just free speech, but freedom itself.
You're exempt. Maybe
February 3rd.
There's that silky smooth voice. There it is.
Maybe you missed this.
You're fucking
but you're not in a dialogue. Your views are beside the point. Argue all you want.
Shut up. Your views are beside the point. Argue all you want. Your adversaries are glad to see you waste your breath. Better yet, if you protest, they'd rather you carry a sign than do anything. They'll keep you talking as long as they can, just to tire you out, to buy time. They intend to force their agenda on you. That's what all the guns are for, what the police and drones and surveillance cameras are for, what the FBI and CIA and NSA are for, what all those laws and courts and executive orders are for. It's what their churches for. What those racist memes are for. Racist memes. What online harassment and bullying are for. Oh, okay.
No, you gotta get to the gay bashing.
You gotta get to the gay bashing.
Gotta get to the gay
bashing.
It's what gay. Yeah, I didn't say it. It's what gay bashing. It's what gay bashings and church
burnings are for.
Fucking hell.
So there's a little paranoia going on here, right?
Just
a little.
This is not a dialogue. How could you be so naive? A dialogue from which some of the participants can be deported at any time. A dialogue in which one keeps shooting and incarcerated. Keeps shooting and incarcerating the other side. A dialogue in which a few people own all the networks and radio stations and printing presses, while the rest have to make do with markers and cardboard signs. A dialogue, really?
Oh, the irony should not be lost on anyone there. In terms of everyone, all the media is owned by some great big media figure. It's against us, Antifa. Yeah. It's totally against us.
Antifa painting themselves as the underdog. Totally.
Yeah. Yeah, the media who doesn't
No, exactly.
they fucking they have an epileptic fit at the sight of what how many Nazi flags were there in Charlottesville? I think I counted like 2 or 3.
I think there were 2 altogether, and it wasn't even clear because I don't know how much stock you want to put in Alex Jones. Obviously, I mean he was right about the frogs, but I have heard rumors that some of there seemed to be on Craigslist some people were being paid to show up and be quote Nazis. So I don't know, but
was there proof of that? Is that just speculation or
on Craigslist? Yes, we did find the ads.
Okay,
definitively.
Somebody could have threw those up after the fact.
Sure. Hang on a second. On Craigslist, you found ads for what? For
hiring actors to show up at Charlottesville.
Oh, you're joking.
No, you guys don't know about this?
Don't they? No, I do know about it.
Isn't even my main source of this. It's like he's just the one who was obsessing over it because, of course, he was.
Who did they say to contact? Who was the contact person?
I don't know that. Exactly. I just saw the screenshots. Yeah, I see. I don't know.
Don't you think an actor would have come forward? Don't you think an actor would have come forward and said, "Hey, I was the guy with the Nazi flag"? They probably have to sign a. Do you think they don't have to sign a according to Alex Jones? According to Alex Jones, they would only invite pedophiles.
Well, I love Alex, but I love him in the same way I like a circus performer, you know, like it's like you're very entertaining. Yeah. I do love him though, but like it's not just him. I've seen that from several different sources at this point. Again, it's just a thought, not saying it definitively.
Wow.
There's a possibility some of the people who showed up with Nazi flags were actors. Now again, then how would they have gotten a Nazi flag within like a week? I don't know. You have to order that shit on Amazon. Trust me. Evil alt-right. I've had to look into how long it takes to order a Nazi flag to come to my house.
There's no Nazi shop. There's no specialty Nazi shop like Nazi.
Oh, you could buy Nazi flags on Amazon.
No, but there's no one has a shop. No one has a specialty.
Theoretically, the person that's going to show up. Theoretically, the person that's going to show up has a Nazi flag. Like they just take it off their room.
That's and you notice they use the same bloke. There was this one guy who was wearing like these sort of beigey brownie. It almost looked like a jumpsuit. They used him like fucking 7 times. Like I just kept
like
going.
Like a Ghostbuster uniform.
Yeah, spot on.
Yeah, I mean I don't know. I mean there was the one guy there who came there a couple of days later to just salute the statue. It was like I think the day afterwards.
Oh no! He had a Confederate flag. That wasn't a.
He had a Confederate flag, and that poor kid now got kicked out of his meme college. But you know,
what'd you say? Out of his what college?
A meme college.
It's
Pensacola State Christian College. I think it's not. I don't think they're actually accredited, meaning it's not a real college. So I felt bad that he got kicked out, but kind of like go get a real job or go to a real school, you know. And maybe hopefully people will give you money.
Kicked out, though. That was funny.
No, he should not. But maybe people will give you money now so you can go to a real college.
You're not in a dialogue. You're in a power struggle. All that matters is how much force you can bring to bear on your adversaries to defend yourself from them. You can bet that if you succeed, they will accuse you of breaking off the dialogue, of violating their free speech. They will try to lure you back into the conversation, playing for time until they need more stratagems to break. They put the pieces in place for tyranny. This isn't a dialogue; it's a war. It's not. It's literally not a war because there's no armies killing each other. They're gambling that you won't realise this until it's too late. If freedom is important to you, if you care about all the people marked for death and deportation, start taking action.
They're really scared, aren't they?
Marked for death and deportation. Fuck.
So what's your take, dude? This is just ramblings of mad people. That's why I'm. Who put this out? Is it just like a? Do you know?
This is the website. It's going down.org. Who I believe.
Yvette Falakra. Is
that a vet? Is that a vet Falaka?
She's one of the leaders, I believe, in this.
Oh yeah. Is she the professor, the academic?
She's not a professor.
She was a primary school teacher.
Yeah, she teaches, I believe, middle school in Berkeley.
She's that little bitch that fucking got on Tucker Carlson's show and said,
"Yeah,
Milo
that's what I
Yiannopoulos
thought.
is a fascist."
That's exactly
just point blank. Fuck you. No difference of opinion.
Okay, well that makes sense.
I don't know if she's one of the leaders, but she's definitely a part of this organization.
Mm. She's one of the leaders of that what's it called BAM by any means necessary.
I think they are pretty much inexorably linked at this point. That it's going down and BAM. They always want to do this. It's like, oh, well, we're not the same thing. We have different names for ourselves. That means that we're not associated.
Yeah. So we don't get to the real juicy stuff until down here for a bit. But does someone other than Friended want to take over?
I'll read. Where would you like me to start?
Oh cool. I'll just, I suppose.
Yeah, the top part is really super heady. The appendix is nice. Maybe we want to read the appendix first.
The appendix?
Didn't we just finish that?
The appendix is at the very end, but we can read it. We can read it in order. I mean, this stuff is super heady. The appendix, I thought,
no, that's a good point. Actually,
summarized it. Yeah, nicely.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go from here.
Down to it. Do you have it open in a separate window, Aydin?
Yeah, I have it open.
There's like a question and answer in the appendix.
Yes,
that's really interesting.
The appendix.
Stopping fascists from speaking makes you just as bad as them. To which you answer.
That'll work well. You do the headings.
Okay. That'll work. Yeah.
So I'm at. You're going to read the black, right, Aydin?
I'll read the black. Yes.
Yeah. Stopping fascists from speaking makes you just as bad as them, Aydin. Jesus.
You could just as easily say that not stopping fascists from speaking makes you just as bad as them, because it gives them the opportunity to organize, to impose their agenda on the rest of us. If you care about freedom, don't stand idly by while people mobilize to take it away.
So in short, if you value free speech, stop them from speaking.
Yes.
At all costs.
That makes a lot of sense.
But Aydin, shouldn't we just ignore them? They want attention, and if we give it to them, we're letting them win.
Actually, fascists usually don't want to draw attention to their organizing. They do most of it in secret for fear that an outraged public will shut them down. They only organize public events to show potential recruits that they have power and to try to legitimize their views as part of the political spectrum. By publicly opposing fascists, we make it clear to them, and more importantly, to anyone else interested in joining them, that they will not be able to consolidate power without a fight. Ignoring fascists only allows them to organize unhindered, and history shows that this can be very dangerous. Better we shut them down once and for all.
So, if you're a righteous citizen, if you believe in American values, no freedom of assembly, no freedom of speech.
Did you see any of the stuff on what was the like 20 people and like 1,000 people opposing them? Did you watch any of the coverage on that?
Was that in Boston?
I'm not sure where it is. God, I shouldn't have even brought it up. Aydin.
It was in Boston. It was about 20 people who were putting up a free speech rally in Boston, and I've seen estimates between 15 and 20,000 people who showed up from Antifa and the left, I guess, in general, who showed up to oppose free speech being organized predominantly, I believe, by a Indian man.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. That like no fascists at all.
I'm speaking with a bloke via email who was actually booked as one of the speakers at that Boston event, and what happened was I think the mayor of Charlottesville or something, or one of the officials at Charlottesville, put out basically a rumor that saying that the two events had the same organizers, and one of the, I think it was someone from the, it might have been the mayor as well, or one of the police officials or something from Boston, spread this rumor in Boston and sicked this insane fucking soccer mum on him, and she basically harassed his employer and got him fired.
Wow.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, so I'm going to get him on a stream in the next few days, hopefully. You know what's interesting is, and we'll obviously verify this when we go back up, but I'm pretty sure they didn't even define what they mean by fascist.
Oh, in the whole article?
No, they can't define it. They have no idea. I have spoken to people who consider themselves part of Antifa. I have yet to meet a single person who can define what a fascist is or what fascism is as an ideology. Like, that's the way you destroy them. Define to me, what is fascism?
It's a movement of genocide that focuses on rape culture and wants to kill black people, and Milo Yiannopoulos is a fascist.
Isn't it just anyone on the right?
It's anyone they disagree with.
Yeah.
Very interestingly, fascism does not necessarily have a left or right wing leaning ideology.
That's controversial, I think. People tend to think communism is on the left and fascism is on the right. They think of authoritarianism.
But weren't the original fascists, weren't the Italian fascists, weren't they on the left?
Okay, so yeah, here's the thing. Mussolini, basically, what you have to look at what Mussolini, who is the guy who coined the term fascism, what he was trying to do is that he was looking at Italy as a nation, such as we perceive it as today, and he saw that the Sicilians hated the Northern Italians, who hated everybody else, and like they all just hated each other. And what he was trying to do is create an idea of unified what it means to be Italianism. Because they were essentially a third world country at that point, and other nations in Europe were going forward. It's like let's bundle together like a bunch of sticks. A faggot. Yes, and we will as Italians, as a generalized ethnic identity rather than bickering over individual differences. So that's where the term fascist comes from. But part of that is, and what a lot of where they get confused is that they think National Socialists are right-wingers and people who are fascists are right-wingers. No, generally they want socialist programs that support the whole group, left-leaning programs, right? But they want them within an ethno-state. And with Italy being the basic model for that. Well, but that was because it was, but even then, it's funny because Mussolini did not see all Italians as being the same. He wanted to create Italians as the same, but did not see them, like nobody in Italy at that point in time thought Sicilians were the same as Northern Italians. They did not see themselves as the same.
So in the Italian sense, so a little from column A, a little from column B, a little left and a little right. There you go.
Do you know about the RWA, the right-wing authoritarian scale that they came up with after Nazi Germany to figure out, how people became authoritarians, how the rise of the Nazis happened? Do you know about that?
Never heard of it. No, what's that?
Well, this psychology couple came up with this thing called the RWA. It's like a right wing.
It's been disproven. Scale. It's been disproven every fucking time. If you ask they've
modified it though. They've modified it to detect conservatism. So that's why I always think authoritarianism is on the right. Plus, if you look at like moral foundation theory and stuff like that,
here we go.
Yeah,
Brendan, this is a private conversation.
No, but it's gonna come up when we read the top part, because all in the top of this thing, they're totally against hierarchy, and hierarchy it's an authority thing. You have to have respect for authority to respect hierarchy, and anarchists are on the left. They tend to not respect authority.
Anarchists can be on either side.
Communists do that. Communists respect authority. A lot of them are communists.
You're misrepresenting this. There can be anarchists on either side. Authoritarianism is not relegated to left wing or right wingism.
I think that's controversial, but
I mean, I don't care if you think it's controversial.
How does this scale work, friend? How does this is it like the Bechdel test of Nazis or something? How does it work?
Well, I guess I thought you were on board with moral foundations theory, Aydin.
I am.
You were like
I am. I love moral foundations theory. Well, my issue was you trying to convince me I was a liberal, which didn't make any sense to me.
Oh, so you don't like it because I was like,
no, because it didn't make sense to me. But
I was pulling your politics out.
The exact thing that you're citing.
Who has a question authority bumper sticker on their car? Tell me, is it a liberal or a conservative? Who's in the military? Is it a liberal or a conservative? The military is predominantly conservative, right? Because they believe in hierarchy. They believe in respect for authority. That's why they're the super patriots. You know,
I mean, I'm a super patriot,
flagging
though.
country. Yeah,
my
totally,
point though about what you're bringing up, I do want to get back to point though. What you're bringing up in terms of that scale, that is the fascism scale that determines the F factor.
Yeah,
you have
RWA.
To be very you have to be very clear and very aware of what the F factor is and what they describe it. Look through their you look through their questionnaire in terms of how they describe the F factor. They do not describe it.
The modern one or the old one? Because they had a
the modern one.
Yeah,
the modern one describes pretty much mainstream liberals in the United States. Like, I think
that's controversial.
No, go and
Hayden is a self-described conservative, but I actually think she's a liberal. So that's why I'm a self-described liberal, but yeah, libertarians are on the left too. But
is there a BuzzFeed?
No, not inherently. Libertarianism is
no,
also
not at all. Not at all. Not at all. Where are you at, Baring? Like, do you respect authority? Where are you going to put a question authority bumper sticker on your cars?
I think Baring is.
No, I don't think I wouldn't have a question authority bumper.
Would you join the military? Have you ever been in the military? I mean, you're an artist, for heaven's sakes. You're on the left.
I've never been in the military. Probably no, I wouldn't join the military. Not unless I had to.
Yeah, see.
See, I think Baring, I think you're an ascendant alt-centrist.
Oh my god!
An alt-centrist. Oh, fucking hell!
So the next one is something I hear a lot. It's like they pulled this one right off of Twitter. The best way to defeat fascism is to let them express their views, so that everyone can see how ignorant they are. We can refute them more effectively with ideas than force.
Makes complete sense. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay. So logical, right?
People don't become fascists because they find their ideas persuasive. They become fascists for the same reason others become police officers or politicians, to wield power over other people.
They don't like hierarchy.
It is up to us to show that fascist organizing will not enable them to obtain this power, but will only result in public humiliation. That is the only way to cut off their source of potential recruits. History has shown over and over that fascism is not defeated by ideas alone, but by popular self-defense. We are told that if all ideas are debated openly, the best one will win out. But this fails to account for the reality of unequal power. Fascists can be very useful to those with power and privilege, who often supply them with copious resources. If they can secure more airtime and visibility for their ideas than we can, we would be fools to limit ourselves to that playing field. We can debate their ideas all day long, but if we don't prevent them from building the capacity to make them reality, it won't matter.
Take their microphones.
Yeah. I felt that was like a ContraPoints argument all the way.
Yeah.
Like their army is building. It's just a matter of time before we're all taken down.
Yeah.
You think this is going to happen, Baron? You think this is like just?
Oh no, I don't know. I mean, it's hard to predict. I mean, I couldn't see any of this fucking happening before last year's election.
Like 2 years ago, none of this, like Berkeley, I never thought would happen.
No way. What about you? Did you foresee any of this shit?
No, not at all. Not at all. Yeah, it's kind of snuck up on me. People are talking about their people dying and stuff, which I never thought I would see people dying over. I mean, I don't see Trump being. I mean, I think it's just a complete misperception of Trump. Like they see Trump as a proto-Hitler, so it justifies all this stuff. Like, and also, you know, if Hitler, like if we really were in a proto-Hitler situation, the logical thing to do would be to do the kinds of things that they're doing, right?
Yeah. If we were in that situation, but we're
not exactly. Yeah, exactly.
So
how do you convince?
Speaking
how
of,
do you
speaking of killing people, right? Let's just quickly fucking shift to. I want to show you this. Right. This is. Do you know the YouTuber Garrett?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
I'm still trying to see his comedy video, but no one will share it.
He's amazing. He's fucking amazing. This is a few tweets I found from him the other day that I felt the need to save. Can you guys see?
Yeah. If the revolution
kicks off, I will be training my dog to kill Nazis.
No way. See, this is LARPing.
He's not joking. He's not joking.
I really want to bring this up real quick. I just finished reading Cohen 1973's book on it's folk demons and moral panic. If you have any interest in understanding these people, there's a really good place to start. I have read individual studies. I had not read the book, literally the book on it. This is the entire idea of basically they create a giant villain to go against in their moral panic. And this is the idea is that you have to fight or else they will win. Yep. You'll see this everywhere with their understanding. They think that they're under attack.
Liberalism supports capitalism. Therefore, you are an enemy of the worker and must be purged to serve the glorious revolution. that was in response to something Tim Demotivator Opinion said. So liberals get the bullet too, obviously, naturally. I've already said publicly that if an actual war/revolution ever kicks off, I'll be killing my share of fascists.
This is crazy,
isn't it?
Do you know Garrett? Have you seen Garrett, Aydin?
I don't know him.
Like the idea of him,
you've got to check out Garrett.
Some kind of military uniform.
Oh fuck!
I guess maybe
it's comical. No, it's comical. It is comical.
Well, if you see like the Third World Reichs, I mean, I could see him in that kind of setup.
Oh Jesus Christ!
I mean, we force our military guys to go through boot camp and like get into shape and stuff like that. But there's plenty of countries where they're just, I'm in the military. It's just like a gang, basically.
Yeah, no,
it's scary. It's scary, but
no, he's a fat tub of pussy. Is what he is. he's not killing anyone. I agree for now, but if the war or revolution ever does come, you bet your ass I'm killing Nazis all day long.
Is Garrett Antifa? Is he?
Oh yeah,
that's a ContraPoints right there. Someone was telling I don't watch ContraPoints' videos anymore. Do you watch ContraPoints' videos at all, Baron?
Yes and no. Like if it's an interesting topic, I sort of flicked through a little bit of Contra's one yesterday, but it didn't really grab me.
Oh, okay. Aydin, did you watch it?
I don't, but well, I try to avoid it. But I would say about this is an interesting thing that you should note as well is that this is very basic social identity theory. See Tajfel and Turner, 1974 is a seminal work in that
citation, please.
I cite everything. I literally can't talk about. I've cited everything I've said. I always cite things. The point is, and the problem here is that like a big part of social identity theory is in the terms of the othering of people that you don't agree with. They are so much an other they become a non-human. Do you see this way of him saying like, and it's not just him, it's anybody like this, of being like, I'll kill these Nazis. They have othered people without the actual evidence. And Cohen 1973 also supports this in terms of separating the self from the other, in terms of inducing a moral panic, and also in terms of, as Tajfel and Turner described, making the other, someone who's not in your group, a non-human. Well,
don't they have certain group labels and dynamics and certain attributes that they force on pretty much everyone in the group?
That's going to be
that's part of whether they force it on everyone in their own group or
on their own group. They force a kind of conformity. Social
it's
identity
purity testing.
Exactly.
Yeah. There's a fucking pearl here. This actually is in response to a Sargon of Akkad tweet. When the revolution comes, old Carl is going to be in a spot of bother, shall we say?
It's straight. It's funny whose dictator book, because that's like straight out of the dictator's handbook there.
Yeah, that's cool actually, isn't it?
He's warming up. Yeah.
No, Ooh. I've been told by Antifa people that I'm gonna be they're gonna find me and kill me when the revolution happens.
That's fucking chill. That is fucking chilling. That is who
it is scary.
That's That's so fucked.
Yeah, I've read my share of history, and it's not when that kind of stuff happens, it's terrible. I wonder how much of it is based on economics. Like, people just have a gloomy future.
You really think that most people who are Antifa have a gloomy economic future?
Yeah, they don't.
I don't know. I mean,
They don't. Most of them live at home in the inner suburbs of.
So you're saying they're just LARPing? You're saying they're just LARPing?
No, I don't think they're LARPing.
I think.
But if they don't have their economic future could be fine because they're, you know, from a middle class upbringing. But if their career path doesn't, like, if they don't have any way to get kind of status in society or anything like that, their outlook could be just as gloomy as if they had financial trouble.
Whose fault is that, though? This is the problem. Where hang on,
is it their fault or society's fault? I don't know.
If you got a degree in women's studies, whose fault is that? I'm sorry, that's your fault. And that's what I see over and over again, is that it's people who really they don't have any personal accountability. It's like, well, I spent 4 years and $80,000 of mommy and daddy's money getting a degree in women's studies, and now I can only get a job at Starbucks and I can't pay off my women's studies degree. I'm sorry, that's still your fault.
Don't you think women's studies degrees are kind of like drive-through daiquiris? Like, you know, why do they have a drive-through at a bar? Like, it just encourages kind of crazy behavior. Well, I lived in New Orleans for a while, and they actually do have drive-through daiquiris, and I always thought, this is crazy.
You can also get a parade on a day's notice.
But I mean, I'm just saying, like, why do they crank out however many gender studies majors a year when we know there's like maybe 6 gender studies jobs?
Is there 6? Is there a whole 6? I wouldn't have thought there was 6.
I know. I'm being generous.
There's
here.
one.
Okay.
There's one. There is one gender studies job, and I will tell you, this is somebody in a stupid, made-up field. Well, I'm not a gender studies professor, but I'm a media psychologist, which is basically like, what the fuck is that? There are for my field, there's about 6 jobs. Right. You either go and it depends on you either go work for corporate or you work for the university, and you don't really do anything in between. Or you go work in Starbucks.
For your field, aren't you a media psychologist?
I'm a media psychologist, and I am a quantitative I'm a quantitative. I deal entirely with numbers. I'm a post-positivist. I deal entirely with numbers and statistics, which makes me in a very different, because I know how to run SPSS and shit like that. So I could go work for any company at any point in time to just run numbers.
Yeah, but no, we weren't saying that you were like a gender studies.
No. My point is, even from my field, which is stupid and pointless and retarded, there's only a certain limited number.
All social psychology is kind of,
yes. There's
not a lot of jobs in social psychology. I mean, unless you're the #1 social psychologist in the country.
But I know how to stats. People who go into gender studies degrees, they don't learn how to do statistics. They don't learn how to run SPSS. They don't learn anything about anything that would get them a job in any field outside of, well, the university, the academy.
Yeah, and bitching about fucking
one opportunity. You got one opportunity.
You know, I
don't miss your chance to blow and whatever.
I don't want to frown on personal responsibility or anything like that, but I guess, I mean, the institution has those degrees. People in the chat are saying they're doing it to make money, but
they're not going to make any money off of it.
No, of course not.
The universities are making money off it. The universities are totally making money off it, and they're
not. Actually, they're not. They're dumping their own money into it.
Oh well, thank goodness.
Degree. You have no. You have no.
Why would they be doing that though? I mean, what? The students are paying fees. Why wouldn't they be making profit?
Because they also paid these students to get their advanced degrees, which actually means in the long run, and then they pay the professors, and then they pay the professors. In the long run, they lose money on the women's studies degrees. I will tell you this. Okay, 90% of universities, that might be way high. I don't know. If you're a graduate student, you do not pay to be a graduate student. You get paid to be a graduate student by being also a professor. That's why I call myself professor, because I technically am, but it's because I was teaching as I was a master's and then as I've become a doctoral student, because I got paid to do that in a stupid field, right? Well, you know, you can judge how stupid it is.
That is pretty stupid. In something like gender studies, that's incredibly stupid. Yeah, so it's like a perpetual cycle of fucking fuckwits just becoming bigger fuckwits.
Welcome to the absurdity of academia. They get paid to teach other people to be stupid and to believe stupid things. And then they pay professors, and by the way, they pay them a lot. I know professors bitch all the time that they don't get paid anything, but we on average get paid as, you know, full-time professors between $60,000 and $140,000 a year.
That's not bad.
That's not a bad wage. It's not a bad, and you're still a student as well, like a graduate.
As a student, way less. No, you're not going to get paid that as a student. But the thing is, and here's the worst part. The students are the ones who teach the undergrads.
Are the ones that what?
The students are the ones who teach the undergraduate students. So the graduate level students and the doctoral level students, they're the ones who teach the undergrads, meaning that the freshmen and the sophomore, the people who teach their classes are 25-year-old idiots, myself included.
This is pure retardation.
Yeah. Welcome to how fucked this is.
Friended. Someone's calling me retarded in the chat. I don't like it. Neo-Nazis are irrelevant. Institutionalized racism poses the real threat today, not the extremists at the fringe.
I don't agree with that. I mean, this is supposed to be the logical question followed by the Antifa fucking stupid response. That's ridiculous in itself. Anyway, sorry, Aydin.
No, it's all good. I'm
the bulk of racism.
I'm a bit of a sadist, I guess, or masochist, more accurately. I'm a masochist a bit in all this shit.
I'm reading, Hayden. You're missing your line.
Yeah, come on.
I'm sorry, where were we?
The bulk of racism takes place in subtle, everyday forms. Right there below neo-Nazis. Here, I'll set you up again.
Lost my place.
Neo-Nazis are irrelevant. Institutionalized racism poses the real threat today.
This is
not the extremists at the fringe.
Yeah.
What are they thinking on institutionalized racism? Oh, I guess that's what they're always talking about.
Oh, I found it. Sorry, I lost my finger on the page.
Seems like there's not much institutionalized racism going on. I mean, what?
Cops.
Oh, is that what they're thinking? Okay.
I think so.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah,
well, I'll respond to you. The bulk of racism takes place in subtle, everyday forms.
There you go.
But
that's where
fascist visibility enables other right-wing groups to frame themselves as moderates, helping to legitimize the racist and xenophobic assumptions underlying their positions and the systems of power and privilege they defend.
They have all the buzzwords.
You have to. No, you have to just check them off. But
power and privilege. Why don't they ever say privilege and power? It's always power.
Because that's off narrative. It's off script. It's off script.
It's like it doesn't even make sense. Sorry.
Taking a stand against fascists is an essential step towards discrediting the structures and values at the root of institutionalized racism. Oh.
I'm trying to get the buzzwords for you.
Here and worldwide, fascists still terrorize and murder people because of racial, religious, and sexual difference. It's both naive and disrespectful to their victims to gloss over the past and present realities of fascist violence. Because fascists believe in acting directly to carry out their agenda, rather than limiting themselves to the Rube Goldberg machine of representative democracy. What?
I know. What's the fuck?
No, hang on. Oh, shit. I'm sorry. Let me... shit. I gotta put my brain back. They can be more dangerous, proportionate to their numbers than other bigots. This makes it an especially high priority to deal with them swiftly. I'm sorry that my brain crashed and restarted like a shitty Dell computer after that.
Any Rube Goldberg machine of representative democracy. I'm like, so are they just saying? I guess because someone in the chat was actually saying that liberals are for more government and conservatives are for less government, and I'm like, liberals, anarchists are on the left.
Liberal and conservative is not a good breakdown. It's right wing or left wing, but even that's not a good thing.
Yeah. But Rube Goldberg machine of representative democracy is very much that's like a banana republic type statement, right? I mean,
yeah, I guess.
You're talking about, representative government is just bullshit. You know what a Rube Goldberg machine is, right?
Of course I do.
I had it explained to me by fucking.
It's a machine with needless complexity in it. It's supposed to be a machine that has so much complexity that's just totally unnecessary. So, but I don't know that there's a lot of unnecessary. I mean, it's weird that Antifa is making the too much regulation argument, but I guess that's what they're saying. So, so back to power and privilege.
Okay.
Helping to legitimize the racist and xenophobic.
That was just buzzword. So I'm not even gonna. That just confused me. Let's move on.
I consider myself a xenophile anyway. So
what's a xenophile?
That's the opposite. Aliens. That's the opposite. The xenophilia is the love of like other cultures.
That's what I just said.
Yeah.
Said you love aliens, but I mean, the term of aliens can be more.
No, I do. I technically do love aliens.
No,
whenever I watch an alien
aliens
movie,
refers to anyone. Yeah, it refers to anyone not from the culture that you're from. You're talking to a scientist, my dude.
Free speech. Are we moving on to free speech?
Yeah. Fuck.
Free speech means protecting everyone's right to speak. Oh, let's just sink that in, including people we don't agree with. How would you like it if you had an unpopular opinion and other people were trying to silence you, Aydin?
Well, okay. We oppose fascists because of what they do, not what they say. We are not opposed to free speech. We are opposed to the fact that they advance an agenda of hate and terror. We have no power to censor them, thanks to the neutrality of the capitalist market. They continue to publish hate literature in print and on the internet, but we will not let them come into our communities and build the power they need to enact their hatred.
So free speech means protecting everyone's right to speak, except not in our community and not with your agendas. Fuck off.
Yeah,
not
I really
with the agenda of hatred and terror. Come on.
Yeah.
I'm very involved and concerned about free speech as long as you agree with me.
Exactly.
The government and the police have never protected everyone's free speech equally and never will. It is in their self-interest to repress views and actions that challenge existing power inequalities. They will spend hundreds of thousands of taxpayer dollars on riot police, helicopters, and sharpshooters to defend a KKK rally. But if there is an anarchist rally, these same police will be there to stop it, not protect it. Yeah, that's what's actually happened.
That's like totally delusional, huh?
Oh, it's totally the opposite of what's been.
It is, yeah.
When the wasn't the Black Lives Matter sharpshooter fucking picking off the cops a few months ago?
Yep. Man. That's scary.
Anarchists don't like being silenced by the state, but we don't want the state to define and manage our freedom either. Unlike the ACLU, whose supposed defense of, quote, freedom leads them to support the KKK and others like them, we support self-defense and self-determination above all. What is the purpose of free speech if not to foster a world free from oppression? Fascists oppose this vision. Thus, we oppose fascism by any means necessary.
That's their tagline.
I told you they're connected. It's the same fucking group.
That was smooth.
ACLU is the leftiest left group
they did not used to be.
Imagine.
They did not.
If you go to their website, it's so left. It's like way left.
Yeah.
Hang on. Were they the people that had the white toddler with the flag and the racist?
And they apologized for it? I think maybe.
That was racist.
Yes, that was the ACLU, and they did have to apologize for it because some people said, "Oh, you're saying that a child holding an American flag is the future of America, you racist."
Well, they didn't have to apologize for it. They fucking did apologize for it.
Yeah, they did not have to, but they did because pussy shit.
I better read some super chats. Go on, chat amongst yourselves while I pull.
No, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Oh my god, you got a massive super chat. You better read that shit.
Yeah, no, I feel guilty. I've got to pull it up. So feel the.
How do you? Oh, okay. The ACLU. I was actually kind of amazed that they did speak up for the KKK because they are so left leaning. They spoke up for freedom of expression, didn't they? I mean, they did, yeah. And the American Civil Liberties Union. American Civil Liberties Union is one of the institutions that I actually respect a lot because it's not an identity-based organization. They're for every American civil liberties. So, but they are. I mean, if you go to their website, it screams liberal. So, but liberal used to be. Free speech used to be a liberal cause. Back in the 80s, the conservatives.
You're a little confused.
What do you mean? No, back in the 80s, the conservatives wanted a flag burn, a constitutional amendment against flag burning. They got all pissed off because of like the piss Christ and stuff. They were the conservatives.
Do you think I like that? Do you think I like
conservatives
that?
were definitely.
I don't.
First of all, everyone is against free speech. They're against.
I'm not.
They are at some level.
I'm not. No, I'm not. And here's the thing that would absolutely that I would say to absolutely. Goddamn, my gerbil. She always gets really loud.
Actually, like free speech. Free speech absolutists are not against.
Hang on. Have you really got a gerbil?
Huh? What about my gerbil?
Like an animal. Have you got a pet gerbil?
I do, and she always starts to just be really loud at night and try to bite at her cage. There's nothing I can do about it. It's like once the truck stops being loud, I do have her enslaved. She lives in a little thing next to me.
Okay. Sorry, Church of Keck says, "Love your stuff, friended." Well done, friended. Did you watch the video I sent to you? Also, people follow me on mines at Church of Keck. Screw YouTube. That was Church of Keck. Lucas says, "Antifa, just a prank, cis white male, non-communist, bruh." Well done. Mitch says, "Bunch of hack broads in here."
Thanks, Mitch.
Mr. Kerber says, just a prank, cis bros." Fucking Ozya says, "Is this the school for kids who can't read good and want to do other stuff good too?" The school is tiny.
Fuck you, Ozya. Fuck you.
It's a very tiny school. There's only apparently 3 students. We don't have room for anyone else.
Our short bus is a motorcycle.
Mitch says, "Elongate the cunts. Friended, do it." Bearing, boo. Hunter Avalon says, "Bearing is a trap. He told me." Hunter. Lead Hat says, all fascism is from the left. Mitch says, "You mean Jabba the Cuck?"
I have an ongoing disagreement with Academic Agent about that. So
about what?
All fascists are on the left. Everyone wants to say the fascists are on the opposite side that they're on.
No, well, see, I don't have an inherent disagreement with fascism, so you could talk to me honestly about that. I'm not a fascist. I am just willing to talk to them and engage their arguments. My perspective is that fascism does not inherently have a left or right wing perspective.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
I think the world breaks down to autocrats and democrats, and when you get autocrats, which are like dictators, despots, you can put any name you want on them, but they're going to stay in power by any means necessary. And by any means necessary means cracking some heads. So, I mean, whatever the sign is above the dictator's palace, whether it be communist or fascist or whatever you want to call it, I mean, what they do is the same, right?
The biggest thing that I think that tends to lead fascism towards leftism is in the tendency of fascism to support social programs. But this is again, this makes it very confusing, because we're talking about economic leftism or social leftism.
What is a great way to get power? Just break it down, like strip all the politics away. What is a great way to get elected in a democracy? Well, what is a great way to get elected in an autocracy? Like promising the world to people, right? Free stuff. Like that's a great way to win power, right? What's a great way to keep power? Like don't get killed. Don't let people speak out. Like there's two different forces here. There's getting power and then there's maintaining power. But in a democracy, like Trump is trying to cater to the 69 million people that got him elected so he can get reelected, so he can not be a one-term president.
He's not doing a great. And I'll say that
the left keeps shooting themselves in the foot. So I don't know that Trump might get reelected.
He'll win. He will win only because the left can't not shoot themselves in the dick in this country.
Yeah.
Like they're just sitting there with a gun just aimed at their crotch, just being like, fuck, just absolutely shooting it over and over again.
This is their strategy. We're reading their strategy right here in this free speech pamphlet thing. Yep. Their strategy is, it's the end of the world. It's the end of the world. Yeah. But that's not a good re-election strategy, is it?
Just shut the fuck up. Just quickly, Simon does not know. Yeah. Says traps are gay. Sending y'all love from Texas. Please help the hurricane. Please help the hurricane killed us. The hurricane was pretty bad, wasn't it? I haven't really looked into it, but did it take a few days?
Is that really your phone number, Bering?
What?
Bering's phone number is cruising through the chat. It's an 800 number. I'm sure it's not your real.
I'm sure that's your real number.
Yeah, no, that's
if people are saying traps are gay, that's definitely aimed at me. Traps are not gay. I have provided the research for it multiple times. Traps are not gay.
Traps are gay. That's another conversation, but traps are gay. They're gay.
No, liking a trap is not gay. And also, it's not
that's a different fucking argument, isn't it? Liking a trap.
Let's get very clear. Being attracted to a trap is not gay. I have that from I have statistical data to show that normal straight men
are gay. That was the question. That's the question.
Okay.
What if it's just like a frat boy who's like, what if it's a
define the terms? We have to define the terms. What are you talking about with traps? Is it looking at the trap? Is it fucking the trap? Is it dating the trap?
No. The trap themselves. I'm talking about the trap. It's a pretty simple statement. Traps are gay.
If they go through with it, they're gay. If they don't go through with it, they're not gay.
Okay.
Doesn't that make sense? I mean, what if it's just a prank?
We have to go into internet logic and the long-term internet theory that it's not gay if the balls don't touch.
Exactly.
How does it always end up on this fucking question? Fuck traps. I mean,
you cannot have me on anything without it. I know I'm stealing Dr. Lehman's.
Those are your fans. Those are your fans with the trap bit. Our traps.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. It's mine or Dr. Lehman's.
Yeah, cool.
But I mean, it's one or the other.
Hyperstrike donated $200. That's a lot of blow. Thank you very much, Hyperstrike. Wiki up political compass. It'll explain left versus right and authoritarianism, and authoritarian versus libertarian. Fair enough.
I've actually taken that. Yeah. I took it as
the political compass. Everyone.
Yeah, I took it as but I took it as Adolf Hitler. I was like, okay, watch. I'm going to answer all the questions correctly. I'm going to be this right-wing neo-Nazi. Yeah, and I did it. I did it really well. I tried to get it right up in the top right-hand corner. I was just a little bit off. Some of the people
But
said
that would not
answered some
describe
questions wrong.
Hitler. That would not describe Hitler. Hitler was a
No,
socialist.
no. I was doing it Tetris style. I was just trying to get it way up in that.
It was all do 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 do.
I don't think that compass test is very good, to be honest.
It's not, because I would have thought the last time I took it that I would have been like absolute far bottom right, and I was like middle ground. I guess I'm not enough of an ANCAP, only because I recognize the inherent flaws in ANCAPistan. But
okay,
you thought you'd be extreme far right.
I thought I would have been the hardcore ANCAP. Yeah.
Where did you come out?
Completely middle ground libertarian, right libertarian.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm slightly left libertarian.
I've never taken it as myself. I've only taken it as other like.
You know what? I've never done that, but
like
that sounds
I'm
like a really
I'm
fun thing.
I'm an ANTIFA motherfucker. Watch this.
That's
because it's
role playing. That sounds really fun.
Well, they're like, I perceive there are a lot of people that can't do that. Like they don't have ideas how other people think. So maybe they do. Maybe you could do it. I don't know. I think it's an interesting trick.
I'm gonna do that now. I'm gonna steal your idea and maybe I'll make a video out of it, and then I did a video.
Yeah.
Fuck.
I did a video of it. So
you should do a series, like a series of
do it up. Yeah.
Dictators.
Watch, I'll do it as
do that.
Do it as
every
dictator. Stalin, yeah.
But the questions are so easy though. It's like obvious.
No, some of them are very it's not really clear what they're asking sometimes. Yeah. In the big one, I sometimes don't know what they mean. Or in terms of like they ask you like each man according to his ability to according to his need. It's like, well, is this a good idea? It's like, well, yeah, it's a nice idea.
Yeah.
But that's not anything to do with reality. You know, that's where I get confused with those kind of things.
I'll take back over the headlines.
Yeah.
You've done a fantastic job. Aydin, can you continue doing the guts of it? It's fantastic.
Which were we at? Where if fascists don't have a platform,
if fascists don't have a platform to express their views peacefully, it will drive them to increasingly violent means of expression.
Well,
rational
fascists.
Reason.
Excuse you. Fascists are only attempting to express their views peacefully in order to lay a groundwork for their violent activity. Because fascists require a veneer of social legitimacy to be able to carry out their program. Giving them a platform to speak opens the door for their being able to do physical harm to people. Public speech promoting ideologies of hate, whether or not you consider it violent on its own, always complements and correlates with violent activities or actions.
Always. Even small talk, even if just talk about the weather. Nice day. Violence.
By affiliating themselves with movements and ideologies based on oppression and genocide, fascists show their intention to carry out these legacies of violence, but only if they can develop a base of support.
So we can't let that happen. Kill them.
Sure can't. Yeah, just what you should do instead, just immolate them. That'll work.
Yeah. Fucking hell.
Well, you're defending genocide, so it's technically justified.
I mean, I'm literally Hitler, I guess.
Yeah. Well, we should pretty much wipe all of them out. I mean, they support genocide. I mean, we should be killing all of them in camps.
Yeah. Literal Hitler.
Trying to suppress their voices will backfire by generating interest in them.
Okay. Resistance to fascism doesn't increase interest in fascist views. If anything, liberals mobilizing to defend fascists on free speech grounds increases interest in their views by conferring legitimacy on them. This plays directly into their organizing goals, allowing them to drive a wedge between their opponent using free speech as a smokescreen. By tolerating racism, homophobia, anti-Semitism, and xenophobia, so-called free speech advocates are complicit in the acts of terror fascist organizing makes possible.
I don't even know
what is that terror.
What's
people I don't agree with.
Aydin, what's the tear? What's the smoke screen too?
People I don't agree with.
How is free
said
speech
things I
a
didn't
smoke
like.
screen?
Well, they're acting like they value, you know, civil liberties and you know, freedoms and things to lull you into a false sense of genocide. Obviously, clearly,
They're basically leading you into the gas chamber with like they put. Oh, here's what they do. They like
It's
there's
a shower
the gas
thing,
chamber.
isn't it?
They put candy in
There's
there.
lots of free speech in here. Come on in.
Yeah,
Come on. Speak your mind.
And then once you get in there, they turn on the Zyklon B.
Yeah, we require all inmates to shower in free speech before they're entering the camp.
Here's the microphone. Get it real close to your nose. Plenty of free speech here, buddy.
Oh, fucking hell. They have rights like everybody else.
Okay, nobody has the right to organize violence against our community.
Sorry,
Likewise,
can you start that again? I interrupted that. Sorry.
No one has the right to organize violence against our community. Likewise, we reject the quote, right of the government and the police, who have more in common with fascists than they do with us, to decide for us when fascists have crossed the line from expressing themselves into posing an immediate threat. We will not abdicate our freedom to judge when and how to defend ourselves. You fucking cis white male. I added that last bit, sorry.
Nice touch. I like it. You know she was thinking it.
She was like, her fingers were trembling on the keyboard as she wrote this. So like, you dirty white man.
Are you doing a Vet Falaka? Are you impersonating a Vet Falaka when you read this?
I don't actually know her speech that well.
You need to watch. You
I know her.
Really, really well.
I just don't know how well she speaks. I've mostly just been disgusted and wanting to. I think
she speaks like exactly like that. Exactly like.
Normally, I want to. You know, like when you go into like a coma after like a long binge of drug-induced abuse. That's what I feel like after I hear Yvette Falakra speak.
Yeah.
So they have rights like everybody else. No one has the right to organise violence against our community, and we're pretty sure that's what they're doing. So let's get them. Let's beat the fucking fuck out of them.
I like the part about the government and the police have more in common with the fascists.
Well, that's the
they're saying that the police are the fascists.
I would ask any of these people to define fascism. I have defined fascism tonight. I did it. I defined fascism. I would really challenge any person who considers themselves to be actually generally part of the left, and moreover, particularly part of Antifa or any kind of these crazy nut jobs, to define what they think fascism is, because I don't think they can.
I'm going to find a Vet Falaka's definition of fascism.
An inherent of fascism or other right-wing authoritarian views. So it's right there in the definition, right-wing authoritarian.
No, but that's not correct.
Rightist, right-wingers.
They cannot actually define what fascism is. Benito Mussolini and Hitler were not right-wingers.
Mm-hmm.
They may have had some right-wing views, but on some levels, but they were not overall.
Authoritarianism has, according to the political compass test, authoritarianism has some religious, moral, hierarchical component to it, because a lot of the questions have to do with.
You cannot base your understanding on a test. You have to base it on.
I'm just saying. I completely agree with you. I'm just saying that a lot of the questions for the authority, if you want to score high on the authoritarian end, you have to answer questions like God is the ruler of the world and stuff like that. So,
oh, really? People think Hitler was right wing?
You have to be like,
I don't know. Do I have to make a video on that?
It's like very moralistic. It's like
Hitler
children should
centrist.
be.
He was just center
children should be quiet, and children should be seen and never heard. Like, that's an authoritarian.
Okay, we're going to settle this. This is a Vet Falaka's exact. This is a word for word definition of fascism. We're going to settle this, all right?
Oh no!
You don't want me to read it in her voice?
Yes, I do. Hang on.
That would be nice.
Send it.
You had a little
it's
tinge of
highlighted.
allegory.
It's highlighted just here.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, look, there's a picture of her.
Oh, it went away. Okay. A fascist is someone who is organizing. It went away. Damn! Stop laughing, Brendan. I can't read it.
No, it's good. It's good. I just see Tucker Carlson sitting right there.
A fascist is someone who is organizing a mass movement that is attacking women, immigrants, Black people, other minority groups in a movement of genocide. Okay.
Okay, and
that's a fascist.
And there's more. She expands. Okay, this one here.
It is someone who is committing violence. It is someone who is trying to organize other people to commit violence. And Milo Yiannopoulos, the gay Jew, is a fascist.
Oh, that was perfect. That was perfect.
Yeah. She really doesn't like fascists, does she?
Nope.
I don't think she knows what a fascist is, but that's fine.
That's from that Tucker Carlson interview, right? Where Tucker Carlson was trying to get her to like, what's a fascist? What's
hilarious.
a fascist? Milo Yiannopoulos is a fascist.
Yiannopoulos is a fascist, all right? Fuck.
Yeah, exactly.
Any clearer?
Yeah, I mean, I guarantee Milo wanted all of his people to be his grandparents to be killed, probably.
Yeah.
That's what he's down for.
Just quickly, I'll just read out the rest of these super chats, and we might wrap this up. This is giving me a severe migraine. Not you two. You two are fantastic. Just the subject matter. It's ridiculous. The Geth says, can anyone think of a communist nation that hasn't built a wall, banned Islam, or imprisoned gays? That's a good point. Saxon says, listen up. Fucking a girl who looks like Arnold Schwarzenegger is gayer than fucking a dude who looks like Scarlett Johansson. John Woodruff says, fucking Aussie, can't understand a word. Friended back in lol. What? Fuck you. Amber Rembrandt, Bering, are you saying you don't like me? I like you fine. I think you're fantastic, Amber, but you're gay. It's pretty simple. Chris Banks says, when Antifa smashes a window, they're responding to the aggression of showing their own reflection.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Rowan says, here, have some money. Keep being awesome, Bering. Oh, thank you. I'll try. You Donkey says, change subjects. And you Donkey also says, tell about Viv Richards and Joel Gardner pissing off the Sydney Harbour Bridge. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. Hang on, let me look that up.
Who pays for a super chat and tells you to change subjects and doesn't like give you a subject? Come on, you donkey.
That's a very point. I want to find out who pissed off the Sydney Harbour Bridge. It sounds fun.
So Antifa, we're all ready to sign up now. They've convinced us that genocide is around the corner and that we all need to really be vigilant. And
I'm in. That made complete sense.
Well, I'm doing a lot of research on understanding them in a more scientific and in-depth nature. I'm trying to understand Antifa from a scientific standpoint because they have never made sense to me. I used to think, oh, they're just brown shirts. But I actually want to try and understand them from a scientific nature. That will be my next video. That's why I just read 2 books today.
What do you mean from a scientific nature? What expand?
To understand the psychology of these people, why they feel this way. What I have come to the conclusion of is it is very little difference between McCarthyism or the Salem witch trials.
No,
don't you think they're just...
And part of that is magical thinking. Part of that is magical thinking. Do you see how frequently the left uses comparisons to Harry Potter?
I haven't noticed that. No, I haven't.
You've not? They often
when have they done that?
They do it very frequently. People in Antifa and people who are on the far left who think that Donald Trump is literally Hitler. They think he's Voldemort. They will say that he's Voldemort. And this is a sort of magical thinking thing where they create a fictional and fantastic criminal or point of view. I'm going to be looking at a lot of historical examples, and not just Seymour Childs, which is or McCarthyism, but also 1980s pedophilia issues and trials that happened in the United States, where there was this rampant supposed existence of pedophiles in this country that were raping your children, and you had to be on full-blown awareness of them all the time. And so, like, I talked about Cohen 1973, which I just finished reading today, which is the primer on groupthink and not the primer on groupthink, but a primer on a lot of this research of how you get into this just moral reprehension and this rage towards people who don't agree with you. And viewing them as not like other, but as a witch.
Yeah,
for example.
yeah. Have you seen some of the recent crowds where the lefties will be fucking debating, someone just completely normal, and that one person will fucking slink in from the background and start going, racists go home, racists go home, racists go, and then after after about 10 chants, there's about 50 cunts chanting racists go home, racists go home.
So that's actually my primary field of research, which is on group identity. My primary field of research is media psychology. My secondary field is group identity. So, yeah, what you start talking about there with that second but in terms of being like racists go home, that's absolutely group identity manifesting itself.
Do you feel like slitting your wrist sometimes?
Oh, all the time, every day. Don't you?
Well,
don't we all?
No, because I laugh at it. I just laugh at it.
Well, there's a real easy way out.
You have to do graphs and serious shit. You have to plot charts of these fuckheads. Like, I just laugh at them.
I mean, it's not like fuck. No, it's upsetting, but like you have to. You cannot allow them to just do this kind of shit without being called out on it, and we all have to do that. Of being like, and I'm particularly in a unique position because I can be like, yo, I can read your research, I know how to read it, and I'll teach other people how to read it too. You can't get away with that.
Did you read that fuck, what was the social construction of the fucking the penis or whatever it was?
The male penis?
Yes. But that was actually a joke.
Boghossian?
Oh no, I know it was, but it was just as logical as any other paper from him.
Well, okay, I'll tell you real quick. I think we're probably ending, but I'll tell you this real quick. Please do not assess the entirety of social science under that
I agree.
umbrella.
Yes.
Because we're not all that insane. In fact, people like it's very much like any other thing. But look at the feminists, for example. The craziest feminists screech the loudest, right? The stupidest, most uneducated, most just out of their fucking brains people, they produce the most insane research that gets pushed forefront. Meanwhile, people like myself are being back here being like, oh, look, I'm going to prove how clothing has nothing to do with how women may or may not feel discouraged by video games. I'm proving that. I'm showing that through data. That a sexy female character doesn't make women feel less efficacious in their ability to complete tasks in video games. Okay. That's my science.
Wow.
You don't focus particularly, like, specifically on strategic butt coverings or anything, though?
Actually, it's interesting because butt coverings. It's actually interesting because I just wanted to study that kind of shit, and butt coverings were part of it. I had to like actually study how people
really.
Was that a headline?
Yes.
Was that a section title?
It was butt and breast coverings. Yes, were section titles.
Hey, fucking speaking of Anita, did you see just in the last day or two, remember her fucking ex sidekick, the fucking that fucking that
what's
his name? Is it Josh or something, or fucking
Josh?
Is it Josh?
John McIntosh.
Yeah, John McIntosh. Yeah. He did a video about how what's that fucking show he did the video about? The one with the three fucking three geeks. What's it called?
Big Bang Theory.
Big Bang Theory. It was like about the fucking the misogyny of the Big Bang Theory.
This was his recent video.
Yeah, like in the last fucking 2 days.
Jonathan McIntosh. That's
oh yeah, that's what it was called.
Jonathan
The ridiculous misogyny of the Big Bang Theory. What a fuck stick. Yeah, I've only started watching it. I've got to force my way through the rest. It'll be golden though.
Yeah, he's definitely he's definitely out there to protect the marginalized people.
Oh, he is a complete nightmare. Yeah, he's just out there to absolutely defend what he perceives as the indefensible. But I'll tell you as a woman, fuck off. I can defend myself very well, thank you.
Have you seen his concern face though? That's a pretty genuine concern face. He's got a
Are you looking at the Twitter face?
That face he does where he hammers home, he sort of hammers home a point about how big a cunts men are because like we stick a dick somewhere and he does that face that he ends his point on and it's like this. That's how bad we are, guys. We have to change. That face he does. It's priceless.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're such a sexist. Obviously, we're all sexist. Myself included. I'm sure I'm the worst sexist that's ever existed.
I'm sexy as all fuck. Sexy as fuck.
Wait, that's not what I said.
Just quickly to close off, Jared Hanna contributes his super chat. Blow me, cunt. Thank you, Jared. Amber says, best Gordon Ramsay impression. Go, ya donkey. Travis Newby says, men were over-sexualized in games long before women were. That's a good point. It's a good point. The old fucking dick bulge was there long before any tit or ass, wasn't it?
Broad shoulders. Big
Broad
pectoral
shoulders?
muscles. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, it's been lovely having you. It's great to meet you. And you are very smart. You made me sound a little bit dumb, but it was fantastic to have you. And
That's not the intention.
it was very, very interesting. And thanks, Friended. Go fuck yourself and
Yeah.
Have a
Go
great
fuck
you.
you,
Fuck
Brendan.
off.
Fuck you too, Varian.
Well, fuck you both.
Right.
Fuck you all.
Blimey.
Take care, everyone.
Bye.